All right. Hello, squad. Today, it is my pleasure to bring you the review for Mortal Kombat 2. At least my review. I just woke up from a nap, so bear with me, but we got to talk about this movie, man. I actually got to see Mortal Kombat earlier today. It was actually just released yesterday, and I was pretty hyped up for this movie. I know that the reboot back in 2021 was kind of just okay, if not bad, and honestly just forgettable. So I really wanted to enjoy this movie, and boy did I. Let's get into it, guys. Mortal Kombat 2. This is directed by Simon McCoy, either or, I'm not sure. Anyways, the Mortal Kombat tournament is here, and it's Earthrealm's last chance to stop Shao Kahn from taking over, because Earthrealm has lost 9 out of its last 10 tournaments to Outworld. Now, if they lose 10 tournaments in a row, they are going to be invaded and conquered by Shao Kahn. That is pretty much the basis here. All right. Now, let's just get into what I liked. I wrote a bunch of notes down for this one, so bear with me, but here we go. First of all, I did feel this was a huge improvement from the 2021 Mortal Kombat movie. I just feel like the 2021 version was forgettable, and they added that character Cole Young, who I don't believe is from the video games, and he just felt out of place in that film, but he does have his moment to shine in this film. Now, what I wanted from this film: a banger soundtrack, fighting, action, a lot of it, blood, fatalities, good fight choreography. And I gotta say, I got what I wanted from Mortal Kombat 2. There is nonstop action and blood and fatalities throughout this film. From the get-go, within the first 5 minutes, there is a fight, and I loved it. That techno Mortal Kombat soundtrack, it always gets me so hype. Oh my god. I remember playing the games way back. I haven't played all of them, but the PlayStation 2 Mortal Kombat, one of my favorite games ever, dude. So I was excited for this. And the first fight we get in this film, oh, by the way, spoilers, light spoilers in this review, is the King of Edenia, who is Katana's father. Katana kind of plays main character 1A, 1B. It's between her and Johnny Cage, but we'll get to that later, versus Shao Kahn, because Shao Kahn wants to take over Edenia. Edenia has ran out of champions, so they send the last best fighter they have, which is their king. This fight off the rip was fun to watch, man. I actually really liked it. There was some fun, creative things within the fight choreography. At one point, it felt like in the games where you just spam X and there's just blood splattering everywhere between you and whoever you're fighting. There's a moment where they're doing that. And I feel like this fight set the tone for the film. There's some brutal stuff. We see the King of Edenia getting his finger sliced off, getting hit by that giant hammer by that Shao Kahn wields. It was a really good opening fight. And it also sets up Katana's revenge arc, because Shao Kahn basically enslaves her mother, kills her father, and takes control of her people. But then Shao Kahn makes Katana his honorary daughter, I guess, and makes her serve under him. Now, it felt like I was a kid again watching this movie, throughout the whole film. It was healing my inner child, bro. And I honestly, some people might not agree with this, but I felt like I enjoyed every fight in this movie. I thought was good in its own way. My theater was very vocal, but there wasn't a lot of us in there. But people were oohing and ahhing and going holy to quite a bit of the fights, myself included, man. And I was just having fun with this. Some of the fights, just to name a few, we got Sonya Blade versus Sindel. We had Cole Young, descendant of Scorpion, taking on Shao Kahn. We had Liu Kang versus an undead Kung Lao. Just to name a couple of my favorite fights throughout this film. And oh my god, the Sonya Blade versus Sindel fight, it was pretty short and sweet. Right, this is when the tournament has officially it's officially started, and so she gets summoned, and they don't know who they're gonna fight till they get there. She fights Sindel, and she's got that screeching power, and eventually Sonya Blade overcomes it and does this badass front flip in the air, grabs her by the head, and then slams it through a spike. Oh, I loved it. Listen, Cole Young, at least in this film, I felt like he did at least have a moment. He fights Shao Kahn, who of course isn't going to play fair. They're the villains. Why would they fight fair? So Shao Kahn is given, I think at this point in the movie, he has this amulet that grants him, it's a power buff. It's a power buff. He gets extra strength and pretty much like immortality. He's like a god now. He can regenerate. But there is a moment where Cole Young doesn't know this, and he actually slices through Shao Kahn's neck and thinks that he's won, only to be like, wait a minute, what the hell? And then, oh, dude, Shao Kahn grips this man by his skull, body slams him, and before Cole Young even knows what's hit him, he grabs that giant hammer and just brings it right down on his face. Blood splatters everywhere, and then like he's sweeping, he just knocks Cole Young like into this river or whatever. Good, R.I.P. Cole Young. I mean, it is what it is, man. He wasn't one of my favorites, but he put up a hell of a fight against Shao Kahn. I gotta say this too. Carl Urban's performance, you may know him as Billy Butcher from The Boys, but him as Johnny Cage was a lot of fun. I thought he did a really good job. And yes, there is campiness in this film, but I was okay with it. For a video game adaptation this is a reboot. This is the sequel of a reboot. I was still glued to the screen. I thought they were faithful to the adaptation this time, and I really felt that they just went all in on the ultra violence and just that fast-paced, non-stop fighting feel with cool designs, cool character designs. I thought a lot of the costumes and characters looked really good. Liu Kang looks freaking jacked, bro. He looks ripped, and he had some aura in this film too. Liu Kang's fight versus Undead Kung Lao was probably my favorite, like easily, of the entire film. It was so well done. All of the things I liked about this movie were wrapped up neatly into the Kung Lao versus Liu Kang fight, because I felt like it had high stakes. Obviously, they're both fighting to the death, but Liu Kang has to fight his brother, who isn't necessarily the same because he's been brought back to life through the necromancer, and now he's kind of brainwashed, and he's like on Shao Kahn's side now. But on top of that, like, Liu Kang doesn't want to kill his brother, but he has to. And it was a pretty long fight, but throughout the whole thing, I was just like, oh, this is sick. Like, they're throwing hands. Kung Lao's doing the thing with his razor hat where he's swinging it around and throwing it, but eventually it gets stuck in the ground, and he's doing like all this like hand motion stuff trying to get it out. And eventually, this part, I didn't see this coming. So he goes, I'm sorry. And freaking Kung Lao like punches him, but he like takes the punch, like floats backwards, grabs him, and then, because the blade is right behind Liu Kang, and then slams him down onto the spinning blade. Fatality. Finish him. It's over. It was so sick. His firepower, Liu Kang's that is, in this movie looks so good. I thought he's the best. I think he's the best, like how could I say it? He's the best like fighter they have, both in the movie, but also just like as an actor. Like, his stuff just looks clean and it looks good. I really like his performance as well. The chaos of this film will probably either make or break this movie for you. It is chaotic. There's a lot of fighting happening all of the time with a lot of characters, and yet it didn't bother me. I kind of just embraced the chaos because I was like, I'm just having a good time. This is still me having a great time at the movies. I get that the plot it's surface level. The emotional depth for a lot of the characters is pretty surface level. I mean, you have Katana's revenge story. You have the story of Liu Kang wanting to save Kung Lao. That's kind of where his story arc ends up going. You have Johnny Cage, who is the washed up actor who doesn't believe in himself, but he finally gets some new perspective on life and becomes a real hero by the end of it. I loved it. Johnny Cage is a fun character, and even though there were a lot of characters, it felt like there was no true main character. You may like or dislike that. What I mean by that is, it's pretty clear to me that it's set up to be Johnny Cage and Katana, like their story, but it felt like there were moments where I forgot Johnny Cage was there, or I forgot what is Katana doing, because Liu Kang is having an aura farm moment, or Jax is having a badass fight, or Raiden is doing something cool. Shao Kahn is on screen a lot, and I quite enjoyed that. I think he has like 3 or 4 fights in this movie as the main villain. You don't see that a lot in in an action film. So that was fun as well. Listen, the dialogue, it's not Shakespeare, but listen, it's a video game adaptation. Of course, it's a lot of straight to the point conversations of just kind of getting to the next part of the movie, and blatantly saying, okay, this is our goal, this is what we need to do, this is how we're going to do it, we need you, come with us. I get that, but hey, there was a lot of fun dramatic one-liners that lead to battles or fatalities that I enjoyed. Like, I just embraced it, and I think they leaned into it and they listened to criticism from the first film, and they did better. And I had so much more fun than I thought I was going to have based off of that 2021 version. But yeah, there was a lot to be liked from this movie. It is ultra violent. I will say there are a couple of things that I could nitpick here. For example, the Liu Kang fight was the best one, but it comes a little before like the halfway point of the film. So the best fight, the climax to me, happened in the middle of the film. And I was waiting for them to kind of top that for the next however long I was in that theater. And I never felt like there was ever a fight that topped that one. So not that the other fights weren't good, but it was an interesting choice to make your best banger of a Mortal Kombat one-on-one between these two brothers happen halfway through the film and then not really ever do anything above that, right? And also, besides when they used the techno Mortal Kombat soundtrack, the rest of the soundtrack felt generic during fights. But when they would play it, it got my blood pumping, I'll tell you that much. And again, I did kind of feel it was weird that it felt like there was no true main character. It felt like screen time was kind of split equally amongst all of these on-screen characters between Sonya Blade, Jax, Liu Kang, Cole Young, Raiden, etc., etc. Even the wild card and comedic relief that is Kano, who gets brought back to life through necromancy to fight for Shao Kahn and his forces, but he's Kano, so he says screw that and decides he's going to fight for Earth, of course for purely selfish reasons, but hey, that's still more fighters and champions for Earthrealm. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about Mortal Kombat. Now, this part may or may not upset some people, but let me get into my rating. So, officially, Rotten Tomatoes has a score of 64%, while IMDb has a score of 7 out of 10. Now, my rating is a 9 out of 10. I know. Listen, guys, this is everything I wanted out of an action-adventure movie, a sequel of a reboot that is a video game adaptation. They did a pretty damn good job. I get it. The dialogue isn't anything to write home about, but it's fine. It's fine. I was cool with the dramatic one-liners. I was cool with most of the acting. I thought most of the actors and actresses did great. I really did. Speaking of, like I said, Carl Urban as Johnny Cage, Adeline Rudolph, who plays Katana and does a damn good job at it, Jessica McName, what a last name, who plays Sonya Blade returning. Martin Ford plays Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn looks great in the film. Like, he looks big, menacing, scary, and all of his fights were enjoyable. Of course, Louis Tan, who played Cole Young, just to name a few. And then we had Tati Gabrielle, who plays Jade in the film as well. I wanted to mention her. Probably my favorite on-screen character. Man, that's a tough one. In this film, it was Liu Kang. It was Liu Kang, and it wasn't even his film, but I feel like whenever he was on the screen, he kind of steals the show. Don't get me wrong. Once Johnny Cage got like his glasses and like, got his powers, I guess, through the glasses, and it's just like showtime, and then does his stuff. That stuff was great. We even get a rematch between Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and that was a lot of fun. And they kind of just put that in there, but it's fine. I thought it was fun. Tell me what you guys thought of Mortal Kombat 2. Let me know down below. Thank you for watching. Sorry it's been a while since I made a review, but Mortal Kombat 2, were you feeling it? Were you not feeling it? My personal feeling is a 9 out of 10 because for an action film, it gave me all of the action I could ask for. The characters looked badass. They had cool lines. It felt like a video game brought to life. I mean, what more can you ask for, right? What more can you ask for? And they very clearly are setting up another film. They're clearly setting up another film, but it wasn't necessarily like a huge cliffhanger. But I mean, they say at the very end, like, okay, we're going to go save our friends that have fallen. And then they all aura farm at the end. And then Raiden shoots lightning and it's over. Mortal Kombat 2. Fatality. Finish him.